Coming up on 21 News, the Mahoning County Board of Elections is still looking for a new location. We'll have more on the site that they're touring today as they look for a building that meets their needs.
Also this afternoon, the fate of Poland's library is being discussed at a meeting this afternoon. More on the options being weighed out coming up.
And in Warren, a man leaps from a window, escaping an early morning house fire.
Locally owned, locally connected. This is 21 News Midday.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for making us a part of your Thursday.
After years of looking for a new building, the Mahoning County Board of Elections is down to their last two options.
Officials are touring a building in Youngstown today to see if it will meet their needs. Gina Cadigan has more on what the board will be looking for.
Yeah, the Board of Elections will tour this old bottom dollar building on Glenwood Avenue in Youngstown. They'll head inside and see if it fits their needs in hopes of moving out of the old Oak Hill Renaissance building in Youngstown. We know that the board needs a standalone building with at least 25,000 square feet. They also want the building to have loading docks and plenty of parking. Now, the county commissioners and city officials have been pushing for the board to stay within the city of Youngstown. Other buildings that have been suggested to the board include the Kirkmere Elementary School building, the old Chilcan plant, and the Cobbin office towers on Fifth Avenue. But the Board of Elections says it's really down to these two buildings, the old Bottom Dollar building and the old InfoCision building on Patriot Boulevard in Austintown. Now, when the board does narrow down their building decisions, they still have to present those buildings to the county commissioners to see if the price fits the county's budget. But county commissioners tell me that step is a long ways down the road. Live in Youngstown with more local news, I'm Gina Cadigan.
Thank you, Gina. Also making news, the Public Library of Youngstown and Mahoning County's Building and Sites Committee is meeting today to discuss the potential relocation of the Poland Library.
Talks about the relocation of the library began after a study showed deficiencies in the building dating back to its construction. That same study presented three options: maintain the existing building, renovate it, or relocate to a new building. The library director has said relocating the library is the most fiscally responsible choice. 21 News will provide updates on the outcome of this meeting following its conclusion this afternoon. Well, 3 dogs are dead and 1 person was hurt after an early morning fire destroyed a home in Warren.
Firefighters were called to a home on Belmont Street Northeast just before 5 this morning. A man inside was able to jump out of a second-story window onto a porch roof and get to the ground. He was taken to the hospital, but there's no word yet on his condition. There's no word yet on what caused that fire, but the fire marshal is investigating.
Ohio recorded its 4th earthquake this year. The latest tremors were felt just after 6 o'clock last night in Madison. That's in Lake County. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the 2.1 magnitude earthquake had a depth of nearly 5 miles. Madison has also experienced other earthquakes this year. There was one on January 6th that was 2.6. On March 5th, there was a 2.9. And on March 14th, there was a 2.2 magnitude earthquake. Most reports included a light shaking in the area, but no damage was reported.
All right, there's been plenty of sunshine around to start off our day. A beautiful sunrise as well earlier. And right now, still a continuation of that beautiful sunny sky. Temperatures, though, look at this, nearing the 70-degree mark out at the fairgrounds. Of course, nothing right now locally as far as any rain is concerned, but clouds, they'll be building in as we go later into the afternoon. Clouds starting to kind of work across northern central Ohio, northwest Ohio. We'll still call it sunny to mostly sunny here over the next handful of hours before maybe closer to your drive home tonight. That sky coverage turns more partly sunny. You notice these temperatures, we did bump them up a bit. They're going to make their way into the low 70s with temperatures at the airport already into the mid 60s here into our noon hour. That chance for a shower this evening, well, it is very, very low. A very low end chance of a shower before sunset tonight. Better chances, though, arrive on your Friday with widespread rain possible before sunset. We'll get into all of that, plus your weekend forecast. And it's a milestone that some of you might be thankful for. What that is in a few minutes.
All righty. Thank you, Andrew. Well, a fragile ceasefire in the Iran war is barely holding today.
Israeli continues to bomb Beirut, and there's still a chokehold over the Strait of Hormuz.
Matt Bradley has the latest as the clock ticks down to talks on Saturday.
Well, it's day 2 of that ceasefire, and I'm here on the beach in Tel Aviv where folks are out enjoying the sun, celebrating a ceasefire that they hope will spare them from the repeated airstrikes that we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks. But those attacks are continuing. Hezbollah has launched more missiles from southern Lebanon into northern Israel just this morning, and Israel's blistering attacks against Hezbollah in Lebanon are continuing. At least 10 people were killed just this morning alone, according to Lebanese health officials. And now we're seeing more than 1,500 people have been killed since the fighting began in southern Lebanon. Yesterday, Israel said they launched their most powerful strikes yet against what they said were Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon, Beirut, and the eastern Bekaa Valley. That has resulted in many, many deaths and a huge exodus of people fleeing from southern Lebanon. But this fighting in Lebanon is really the biggest risk to this tenuous ceasefire that is now halting the guns over here in Israel. The problem is that the Iranians have said that as long as Israel continues to attack Lebanon, they're going to keep the Strait of Hormuz shut. All of this as we're seeing J.D. Vance and other American diplomats headed to Pakistan to try to negotiate a resolution to this continuing conflict and to make this ceasefire more permanent. Right now, the main risk is that the ceasefire won't exist at all. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
Mortgage rates and applications are falling, and weeks of rising rates are still likely to blame. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association, fewer people were also looking to refinance their homes. The MBA says 30-year conventional mortgages ticked down slightly as buyers take a pause, mainly due to concerns about the economy.
Astronauts on NASA's Artemis 2 mission are closer to home today after their record-breaking swing around the moon. Extensive preparations are now underway to make sure that they have a safe return to Earth. They'll splash down off the coast of Southern California on Friday. That ship is picking them up. It's going to be on its way there. And once they're on that ship, they'll get a medical checkup and they'll travel back to shore.
Well, later in the hour, Halla Elementary School field trip turned into a rescue mission that helped save a dog trapped in the water. Keep it here. More of the Midday is straight ahead.
This Storm Tracker Storm Cam is brought to you by Flynn's Tire and Auto Service. For the best deals on tires, shop online at flynnstire.com.
Well, it's a spring milestone that many might be grateful for. Today is our climatological final measurable snow date, and while April 9th is the average for the fourth straight year, it's going to come above the average, and actually for the breaking a streak of 3 straight years where that final measurable snow came in the month of March. April 6th is that final measurable snow, and what we're thinking is going to be that final measurable snow. Most likely we can pretty much put a nail in the coffin there for any more snowfall for the remainder of the spring season. April 6th, though, like I said, 1/10 of an inch at the airport would break that streak from the previous 3 years of that final measurable snow coming in the month of March. And if you look at 2024, March 20th, that is the earliest all time that we've said goodbye to some snowfall in the area. This morning, a brilliant sunrise. Had some beautiful hues of orange and red as that sun rose over the eastern horizon. From there, it was a beautiful blue sky. That was the color that was dominating, of course, and it still does over the city of Youngstown. Bright sunshine, clouds still well off to our west, kind of making their way through northwest and northern central Ohio. Nothing in the way of any rainfall at the moment. High pressure is moving off the east coast. Here comes this cold front that'll slide through the area. This will be a pretty weak cold front, not really produce much in the way of raindrops, but this will stall and kind of lead way to a secondary front that'll produce some better chances for rainfall on our Friday. Temperature-wise at the moment, upper 60s for a lot of us, and we had to bump those temperatures up for the afternoon because I think from where we are now in the mid-60s, we'll have no problem making it to the low 70s with all of that cloud cover still off into western Ohio. I'm not expecting us to really turn mostly sunny for the next 2 to 3 hours, and then from there we might turn partly sunny later into the afternoon. Is there a threat for a very rogue shower before sunset? It's just that. If you're out between about 6 and 8 o'clock and feel a couple of raindrops, it's because a rogue shower chose your community to fall over. That is how low this chance for a shower is this evening. That spotty shower chance will continue past sunset tonight, but wrap up before midnight, and that's going to set us up for a better chance for some rainfall into our Friday. So 73, that high temperature at the airport today, breezy with gusts up to 25 miles per hour this afternoon. As we head into our Friday morning, I'm expecting it to turn mostly clear, then back to partly cloudy. A warmer morning tomorrow with temperatures in the 50s. Temperatures will peak in the upper 60s early in the afternoon before slowly falling. And here comes the rain. This is going to start to work in anywhere from 2 to 4 p.m. And then we'll see widespread showers work in later in the afternoon and into the evening, tapering off before midnight on your Friday. The weekend, though, dry from start to finish, seasonable on Saturday, and Sunday looks beautiful. But yeah, a pair of days where I'm sure I'm going to hear a lot of lawnmowers and leaf blowers go, and that'll be the sound of the weekend, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, Matt.
I cut last night.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Okay.
It
Good
was
job.
like baling hay out there.
Uh-huh.
It was real
All
hot.
right. We're grateful for those warm, dry days. Thank you, Andrew. Well, let's turn now to the latest in sports.
Dana has some local hockey news.
Yeah, we're going to start with the hockey news and the Phantoms because they begin their Clark Cup championship aspirations next week in the first round of the playoffs. They captured the regular season crown and want to take home the postseason championship as well.
This is the best time of year, so we've had a really good season going. We just want to keep extending that.
That intensity of seeing everybody go at each other like that, and then there's usually rivalries build up during the season, and you might see those in playoffs, and it gets a little scrappy. So I think maybe a little blood, but no, it's awesome. I mean, there's nothing like it. I think it's the best playoffs you can watch in any sports.
It's not a one-game series. It's not a single elimination thing. You have to grit your teeth here till mid-May, and with the travel and how difficult it is, it's one of the hardest things to go through, and I think that's what makes it special.
New Browns coach Todd Monken wants to keep things simple in the first week of voluntary workouts and believes that will change the perception.
Winning changes everything, right? I told the coaches that the other day, right? Or playing well. How does a player stop a narrative? Play well. How do we stop a narrative on offense? Score. How do you stop a narrative of winning? Win. It's pretty freaking simple, right? I mean, is that not life in general, right? there is a narrative out there that, you're not a good husband. Well, change, be a good husband, right? All that's part of it, right? Change the narrative, become that. That's what we have to do. It's real simple.
And the latest Score podcast is ready for your listening pleasure. I sit down with Warren Harding girls flag football coach Justin Blair, and we talk about the evolution of the sport locally. You can listen to it on WFMJ.com or where you listen to all your podcasts. Tonight at 6 o'clock, it is round one of the Masters. We'll tell you who's atop the leaderboard at the famous Augusta National. Both the Guardians and the Pirates have the day off, and we'll also take a look at more from Todd Monken as the Browns begin those voluntary workouts minus Myles Garrett. And more of the Midday is coming up next.
Investigators say a recovery operation is underway in the case of a missing American woman in the Bahamas. The 55-year-old had been sailing with her husband when he says she fell overboard and vanished. George Solis has new details on his arrest.
Authorities now calling this a criminal investigation. A lawyer for the husband confirming to us that Brian Hooker has been arrested in connection with the disappearance of his wife, Lynette Hooker. And it all comes after we spoke with the missing woman's daughter, who has raised questions about the relationship between her mother and stepfather. The Royal Bahamas Police Force announcing the arrest of a man in his 50s yesterday, but not identifying an individual. The search presumably still going on. Authorities saying this has been a search and rescue mission from the get-go here. Conditions here in the Bahamas have been somewhat treacherous here over the last several days. You might be able to see some of the waves crashing behind me, but authorities here saying they have used assets even from the U.S. Coast Guard to help them in the search, as far as air support and even divers in the water here. Brian Hooker, for his part, releasing a statement saying he is heartbroken that his sole focus has been on finding his wife, Lynette. And again, after speaking with Carly Aylesworth, Lynette's daughter, she has raised some questions about the couple's past, saying that her mother and stepfather had a volatile relationship in the past, especially when they've been drinking. Again, that attorney for Brian Hooker saying he vehemently denies all of these allegations raised by his stepdaughter, also saying he will be providing no further comment at this time. Back to you.
A jury has found a Hawaiian doctor guilty of attempted manslaughter. 47-year-old Gerhard Koning was accused of trying to kill his wife, Ariel, while the two were on a hike last year. Now, during the trial, Ariel testified that her husband tried to push her off a cliff, stabbed her with a needle, and then beat her with a rock. Gerhardt claimed he was acting in self-defense and claimed she tried to push him over a cliff and hit him with a rock. Prosecutors say he admitted to his son that he tried to kill his wife. He's facing up to 20 years in prison when he's sentenced later this year.
The woman who sold the drugs that killed Friends actor Matthew Perry will spend over a decade behind bars. Jasmine Sangha, known to her drug customers as the ketamine queen, pleaded guilty last fall to 5 federal charges related to Perry's 2023 overdose death. Sangha was sentenced to 15 years in prison and 3 years of supervised release. Perry was found in his pool at his Los Angeles home in October of 2023. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office later said his death was due to an accidental overdose of ketamine. The Justice Department says Pam Bondi won't testify in the Jeffrey Epstein probe since she's no longer serving as Attorney General. Bondi was scheduled to appear for a deposition on April 14th before the House Oversight Committee. A spokesperson for the Republican-led House panel says it will contact Bondi about her next steps.
Those flashy ads that are all over TV and online inviting adults to gamble are actually reaching those who legally can't. Students say regular video games are starting to feel too much like a casino, and many think it could be leading them into a gambling addiction. Stephen Pappas has more.
They're hard to miss. The flashy ads during just about everything on TV and online that tell you that you can win. Sure, it's intended for people that are old enough to gamble, but it's reaching those that legally can't. And the kids, they see it happening.
They know that they are tracked and targeted through AI by the gambling companies and the new prediction markets.
Senator Richard Blumenthal at SMSA today talking with students about the risks of gambling as a whole, especially underage. Students say that regular video games have started to feel too much like the casino.
So you're spending like hundreds of dollars on currency that is being used in the game, and that is 100% leading to gambling.
It's something that the Connecticut Council on Problem Gambling says they're seeing too.
You can buy loot boxes and things like that, spin the wheel and Candy Crush. It's 100% gambling.
Diana Good with CCPG says their organization is there for support. And just because someone may find themselves looking for help and underage shouldn't mean they don't give them a call.
And that's where it gets very tricky with underage gamblers because they don't want to call and they don't because they're not doing something that's legal. So that's why we get a lot of calls from their parents.
Like any addiction, experts say if it starts at a young age, it can be detrimental down the line.
I'd say with any habit, for the developing brain, it's going to have a potential of a more detrimental effect. The habits are going to set in and be sort of more hardwired.
Pope Leo welcomed some special guests at the Vatican. Members of the Harlem Globetrotters got to spend some time with the pontiff, and one of them even taught him how to spin the ball on his finger. Look at that. Pope's got some skills.
Well, still ahead, an exhibit in New York honors the flags that flew on 9/11. Plus, Nicole Capalco takes a look at what's in style for the upcoming prom season. Nicole?
The prom dance is quickly approaching for many high school students, so you need the perfect dress. Coming up next, I'll take you to Eveline's Bridal in Warren for a look at everything that they have in store. We'll have more in the midday when we come back.
time for high school seniors to start thinking about prom. And if you're looking for a dress that stands out, you can't go wrong at Eveline's Bridal. Nicole Capalco is there this afternoon showing off this year's latest trends. Hey, Nicole.
Hey guys, we are at Eveline's Bridal today, checking out all of their beautiful gowns in stock for the big prom dance. So we are back with our friends Gabby and Cade today, and you look beautiful. Both of you, by the way, look beautiful. So let's talk about what it's like when we come in here. Ordering gowns, really something for everyone. Tell us about the process.
Yeah, so we measure to your size and we'll order from like our manufacturers online. Stock has been pretty limited this year, but we have so many in-store gowns. We actually are offering $50 off each in-store gown here. We have a little bit of like the plain gowns. If you want more of a simple look, we have the dripping pearls if you want more of that extravagant kind of feeling. We really do have something for everyone here. So many different colors this year. We've been seeing a lot of fun new things. So.
Yeah, I love how you mentioned there's something for everyone, whether it's simple or extravagant. A lot of sparkles. We gotta have the sparkles, right? Is that kind of a trend we're seeing?
Yeah, sparkles are always a trend. I don't think they're ever gonna go away. The pearls are something that's actually been growing more popular, so we're excited to see that.
Yeah, and Cade, let's talk about your dress here. Hot pink, I love it. Tell us about it.
This one is really popular. We ordered it last minute. It was just an impulsive decision. But everyone loves this. I posted this on TikTok. We've had girls from Indiana call us actually online talking about the dress. People comment all the time about the style number. I love this one. This color is definitely crazy. It's called Bright Coral. And then just along with the ones over here, we're always ordering different colors that you don't see too often. We have like the aqua and then that coral as well. Yeah. And this one's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, actually. I think we got to show the back. I feel like the back is what really makes this dress here beautiful, and of course it gets fitted to everyone when we come on in and do some shopping. So $50 off pieces in stock, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep, anything off the floor, $50 off. So
perfect. So remind us where you're at if we're coming to do some shopping.
We're at 5200 East Market Street.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Lots of beautiful dresses here to get you ready for prom. That's it for us right now. I'll send it back over to the studio.
Up next, where you can find an exhibit displaying Old Glory from some of the darkest days that our nation has faced. Keep it here. More of the news. Street is straight ahead.
right, still a sunny sky out there. Beautiful looking sky out across the fairgrounds. But you notice the flag out there whipping in the wind. It is mild but turning breezy. Temperatures right now upper 60s out there across the fairgrounds, mid 60s at the Youngstown Warren Regional Airport. Take a look at these winds, though. Sustained winds up to 16 miles per hour out of the southwest at the moment. That cloud cover now building quickly across northern Ohio, so we could be turning mostly sunny here over the course of the next couple of hours, but we will stay dry. Right now, showers well off to our north and our northwest. Right now, we keep it mostly sunny throughout the mid to late afternoon, but it'll be breezy too. Temperatures will make it to the low 70s. That threat for a shower is extremely low, and at the earliest between about 6 and 8 p.m. Afterwards, a spotty shower can't be ruled out. Better chances for wet weather coming your way on your Friday. We'll get into that timing more, plus take a look at the weekend as we go through the next 7 days in my full forecast. That's in a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Andrew. Well, making news at the bottom of the hour, after years of looking for a new building, the Mahoning County Board of Elections is down to their last two options.
Officials are touring the old Bottom Dollar on Glenwood Avenue in Youngstown to see if it will meet their needs. The board's chairman said they need a standalone building that's at least 25,000 square feet with loading docks and plenty of parking. The other option they are considering is the old InfoCision building, and that's on Patriot Boulevard in Austintown. The board is looking to move out of the old Oak Hill Renaissance building due to its deteriorating conditions.
Also making news, the Public Library of Youngstown and Mahoning County's Building and Sites Committee is meeting today to discuss the potential relocation of the Poland Library.
That meeting's happening right now, and talks about the relocation of the Poland Library. Those began after a study showed deficiencies in the building dating all the way back to its construction. That same study presented three options: maintain the existing building, renovate it, or relocate to a new building. The library director has said relocating is probably the best fiscally responsible choice. 21 News will provide updates on the outcome of this meeting following the conclusion this afternoon. Well, 3 dogs are dead and 1 person was hurt after an early morning fire destroyed a home in Warren.
Firefighters were called to a home on Belmont Street Northeast just before 5 this morning. A man inside was able to jump out of the second-story window onto a porch roof and get to the ground. He was taken to the hospital, but there's no word yet on his condition or what caused the fire. But fire marshals are investigating.
Ohio recorded its 4th earthquake this year. The latest tremors were felt just after 6 o'clock last night in Madison, that's in Lake County. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the 2.1 magnitude earthquake had a depth of nearly 5 miles. Madison has also experienced other earthquakes this year. There was one on January 6th that was a 2.6. Then on March 5th, there was a 2.9. And on March 14th, there was a 2.2. Most reports included a light shaking in the area, and there was no damage reported.
A public service honoring the life and legacy of the first black firefighter for the Youngstown Fire Department will take place today. Jesse Carter, who served with the department from 1960 to 1993, died last week at the age of 96. Carter was not only the first black firefighter in Youngstown, he was also the first black lieutenant and the first black man to be named the chief's administrative aide. Carter was also a veteran of the U.S. Army and served in the Korean War. A public service honoring Carter will be held tonight from 5 until 7 at the JLEX Event Center on Glenwood Avenue. The escape of 2 inmates prompted a police chase with Warren officers. 27-year-old Skylar Steinhelfer and 22-year-old Ethan Carpenter, both inmates at NeoCap, took off on foot after being treated at a nearby health facility. Officers were forced to run after them. They are now held on escape charges.
The U.S. fertility rate is at a record low. New stats from the CDC show about 3.6 million babies were born last year. That's down 20% from 20 years ago. One issue, American women are waiting longer to have children. A decline in the fertility rate can affect the economy in the long term. The Trump administration is using policies and programs like the Trump accounts to encourage more people to have children.
Well, a new exhibit at the 9/11 Memorial and Museum features American flags that stood tall at some of the lowest points in American history.
Andrew Siff has more.
as symbols of strength, of country, and resilience. The newest artifacts on display at the 9/11 Memorial and Museum speak volumes.
It's very sad, very emotional.
The flag has always been an important symbol to our country. It was certainly important on 9/11.
Memorial and Museum President Beth Hillman showed us our flag was still there, an exhibit highlighting how 5 flags are woven into the history of September 11th and its aftermath.
We have a flag that was raised over Ground Zero by firefighters. We also have the flag that flew on the top of the last column. We have a flag that was recovered from one of the many people who came to help New York in its darkest hour, a fragment of a flag from the World Trade Center. We also have a flag that was flown on the raid that killed Osama bin Laden. And then we have a flag that was flown over the side of the Pentagon.
The exhibit meant to convey a sense of unity at a divided time.
Here we bring together flags connected to 9/11, to the military response to 9/11, to the rescue, recovery, and relief operation after 9/11 that helped to inspire people and bring them together.
Some of those we caught up with today say this display reminds them of the passage of time.
I was in high school. He was in college. It just gives you chills. Honestly, it's just hard to believe that that was actually something that happened.
These flags also a reminder of determination. One of the flags that waved atop that iconic final pier of steel, the so-called last column, which also evokes the lingering health effects still impacting thousands. And the flag raised by firefighters on 9/11 itself, providing a beacon of hope on a day filled with anguish, especially when so many of New York's bravest had been lost.
The firefighters got up to the 36th floor, and they just said that the last messages were still going up.
This exhibit will be up not only through the 250th birthday celebration of America, but also through the 25th anniversary of 9/11, and is scheduled to run all the way into early 2028.
All right, it's nice to have some sunshine finally in our area. Dried things out a little bit yesterday, so like I mentioned before, I was able to get my first cut in of the spring.
That's great.
Matt.
Now you're just one behind me.
Now I can pretty much see my grass grow, like just watch it literally grow in front of my very eyes.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, if you didn't get to it yesterday, you'll have another chance this week. Maybe 2 more chances on our weekend, right?
Yeah, this weekend will be dry. We have more organized chances for rain coming up on your Friday. Today's rainfall chances are really going to be pretty spotty. But yeah, starting off our day today, it was a beautiful sunrise, 6:52, that sunrise time this morning. And from there on out, well, the sky looked like this. A beautiful sky all throughout the day. Plenty of sunshine, and that continues for us into the noon hour. Now, clouds are building out across northwestern Ohio, northern central Ohio, and they're going to be quickly moving in to northeast Ohio here over the next few hours. But we've got high pressure to our east. Here's a weak cold front that'll start to work some rain in across northern Ohio as we go later into the day. We'll get into that timing in just a moment. But in the meantime, we've got a warm front to our north, a breeze that's picking up out of the south-southwest, and that means temperatures will continue to be off to the races here in the afternoon. Upper 60s, and that breeze right now picking up over 15 miles per hour at the Youngstown-Warren Regional Airport. So this afternoon, expect temperatures to make their way into the low 70s. You notice cloud cover doesn't really build in until about 4 to 6 p.m. And from there, between 6 and 8, yeah, there might be a rogue shower. It's a very low-end chance for a shower before sunset tonight. But before we get into the evening hours, expect it to stay warm, breezy, and dry up until, like I said, the 6 to 8 p.m. time frame. 73 degrees will be our forecasted high temperature for the Youngstown-Warren Regional Airport. Into tonight after sunset, a spotty shower still can't be ruled out, although the chance is trending dry. As we go past midnight, we'll actually turn mostly clear for a time. Temperatures will fall back to the low 50s. Clouds will build back in towards daybreak. So you'll wake up tomorrow morning, get your way out the door tomorrow with temperatures in the low 50s. Clouds will quickly build in, more so than today, so don't expect as much sunshine Friday compared to this afternoon. We'll go from a partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky ahead of another cold front that'll produce some more organized rainfall. That starts fairly early in the afternoon, between about 2 and 4 p.m. with some isolated showers. This band of showers will build in from the west to the east, so expect widespread rain kind of moving over the area by anywhere from 4 to 6 p.m. And we'll deal with widespread rain for just a couple of hours before showers start to taper off shortly after sunset. That sets us up for a very nice weekend. Might be some patchy fog around Saturday morning. Otherwise, sunny, and we'll call it some filter sunshine Sunday. We'll turn very mild on Sunday, too, and the 70s stay with us for a good part of next week.
Oh, that's what I love to hear.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Andrew. All righty, keep it here. So much more of the Midday coming up.
On today's Midday Senior segment, we are talking about financial literacy. Cassandra Valentini from Direction Home of Eastern Ohio now joins us. Thanks for coming on our Midday.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, so April is Financial Literacy Month, and tell us why this is important for older adults.
So as we age, things with our finances don't get easier. In retirement, a lot of times you're juggling not only health benefits, limited income, but also you are more susceptible to scams. So knowing that there are trusted resources out there and where to turn should you need assistance is really important as we age.
What are some of the common scams that you're seeing now?
Well, we're seeing probably about 3 or 4 big ones, one of which is the imposter scam. So somebody is pretending to maybe be Social Security. We even heard lately that they are impersonating the Golden Buckeye card, or even a grandchild. They're calling and pretending to be your grandchild. There are Medicare scams, so somebody calling and saying that they want to offer you free medical equipment or want to update your Medicare number, and even those urgency scams where you've heard them, they say your car warranty is expired, hurry up and fix it right away. The biggest red flag, Matt, is truly the urgency and somebody making you feel as though it's an emergency and needs to be taken care of right away. That's when you need to really pause and look at the situation to determine if it's a scam.
All right, so you're saying you should pause. If you think you're being targeted or scammed, you pause, Then what do you do?
So there are a few things, but number one, it's really important not to be embarrassed by this. This is happening to many people. But once you realize that you are being scammed, if it's something that has to do with finances, you need to call your bank right away and alert them to this. Then there's also where you want to alert the authorities or the entities that can help you, and make sure you're not going it alone. You really want to make sure that you're telling somebody what's happening.
You mentioned Medicare scams. What should people know to try to protect themselves from those?
So Medicare's never going to call you on the phone, and they're never going to ask you for your Medicare number. So really making sure that you're using trusted resources like the Ohio Senior Health Information Program, OSHIP it is called, to verify that you are picking the right plan, that the plan is going to be the most cost effective, and that it is going to cover everything you need.
There is something called Senior Medicare Patrol. Tell us what that is and how it can help.
So the Senior Medicare Patrol, their role is to really help with Medicare scams. So they are going to educate individuals about their explanation of benefits, and if there is some red flags there, then they're going to help that individual to fix those problems. So they're there to help as well.
What is just one thing that viewers can do that they could do today that can better protect themselves for the future?
Have these conversations with your families. Be open and honest with each other, and know that there are actually resources out there to help you. So reaching out to the Better Business Bureau to check to see if the entity you're working with is an accredited business, or calling the Sheriff's Department.
You provided us with some numbers and some agencies that could help if you're getting some issues with fraud. Here's one from the Ohio Attorney General. You can see the information there. OhioAttorneyGeneral.gov is their website you can look at and talk to. There's Federal Trade Commission, where you can report fraud. And Cassandra, tell us some other areas that people can reach out to.
So they can also reach out, like I said, to our Better Business Bureau, the Senior Health Information Program, OSHIP, or they can call our office. We are available to help navigate and give you these resources if you're not able to take them down right away.
And then you can see on your screen there was some help from Medicare if you think that you're being targeted by some type of scam involving Medicare. So a lot of things to look out for when you become older. You feel like you're becoming a target because you're considered kind of an easy mark when you become older. That doesn't have to be the case, though. If it kind of doesn't pass the sniff test, you're probably right, and you should probably check it out.
Absolutely. And one of the other things they can do is don't answer the phone. If you're getting those calls from unwanted callers, the worst thing to do is to let them know it's a live line. So just don't answer. Don't engage. That's helpful.
And they'll forget you.
Yep.
They'll move on to someone else.
Yeah, they'll move on to an easier target.
All right. Hopefully it's not you.
Yes.
Cassandra, thanks so much for coming on the Midday.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. We have our winning lottery numbers coming up, and then more of the Midday after this break.
A Poland woman celebrated her 100th birthday surrounded by friends, family, and local officials. Mary Bundy was recognized for a century of life at the assisted living facility at Poland Way. She was presented with letters from U.S. Representative Michael Rowley, former President George Bush, and President Trump. She also got a visit from Bishop Bonar and Mahoning County Commissioner Anthony Trafficante.
I don't feel any different. I mean, I'm just lucky I still have my brain working, so I'm thankful for that.
I mean, it's so cute and so makes her feel special. I could see she's been smiling ear to ear since I've been here, so I'm thankful for that, and I'm just thankful that she's able to enjoy it.
Mary Bundy's actual birthday is this Saturday, which she plans to spend with her extended family. Happy birthday, Mary.
In Arizona, a group of elementary students recently went on a field trip to learn about life on the farm.
But the biggest lesson of the day came when the bus driver spotted an animal that needed to be rescued.
That's when the driver and one of the parents on board jumped into action. Jade Cunningham has more.
March 25th was a big day for second graders at Chandler Unified School District.
Kids are great.
They were excited. They were ready to go.
It was their school field trip to Shamrock Farms to learn about life on the farm.
And I was really excited about it, to spend the afternoon with my daughter in her class. We didn't know what to expect. They just knew there were cows, and they were really excited to see the farm and tractors and things like that.
But the biggest lesson of the day came unexpectedly when bus drivers Michael Randall and Doug Rogers saw something in need of help.
I look over to check my right, and I see something in the canal. I thought it was a deer.
My first thought, it looked like a coyote. I didn't know, and I looked again. Then I heard the kids say, "It's a dog, it's a dog, it's a dog." Me and one of the teachers, without it, it was like an unspoken eye contact. And I literally looked at her and I said, "It looks like we're gonna go save a dog."
Save the dog! Save the dog! Which is exactly what Randall did.
Does it surprise me that he would have jumped out? No, not at all. Not at all.
Once off the bus, he saw the dog exhausted and in distress, stuck in the canal.
Every time I would go one way, the dog would go away from me.
Chaperone Julia Valenti sprung in to help.
In my opinion, she's kind of the hero because she literally just jumped into action.
The dog was sort of frozen in the middle in between us, and I thought, all right, here we go. So I took off my socks and my shoes.
As Randall tried guiding the dog from above, Valenti jumped into the water.
I did not realize how strong the current was. I did not realize how slippery it was. The sides are so steep, I had no idea. I couldn't even get out on my own.
The two worked together.
You see an animal in distress, you want to help.
And after 10 to 15 minutes, the moment came everyone was waiting for.
So I scoop it. I've got one leg in the slippery moss. I've got one leg on the side of the canal, and I'm just holding it up, and we just 1, 2, 3 all together, hoist it up, and the dog gets out.
For the students watching,
it was a total teachable moment.
It wasn't just exciting, it was unforgettable and became a real-life lesson in action about stepping up, working together, and showing kindness when it mattered most.
There's still good in the world, that people still want to do the right thing, that we can come together and work as a team.
For me, I just think it was good that they saw like something good as far as like teamwork and collaboration and talking to each other.
I bet that dog was happy. Well, if you're looking to explore the Valley on Friday, you can celebrate National Community Development Day with the City of Youngstown. You can enjoy food trucks, community vendors, fun and music at the Youngstown Foundation Amphitheater and Ween Park. The event runs from noon until 6. And this Sunday, the first Downtown Indie Fest will be held. That's over in Newcastle, PA. Giant Man Comics and Collectibles is opening its doors to creative exhibitors and vendors, and that starts at noon. You can talk with authors, filmmakers, actors, and shop indie artisans until 5 o'clock. And here's our artisan of the skies. It's one of those meteorologists.
Yes.
That talks about meteors that hit the ground.
Yes.
Ohio's full of them these days, so that's why we need Andrew.
Right, exactly. And not full of any clouds in the sky, though, I could say that.
Yeah, thankfully.
Pretty much cloudless, and will be mostly sunny to partly sunny as we go over the course of the afternoon, nearing the 70-degree mark already at the Youngstown Warren Regional Airport. Expect it to be breezy, though, if you're about to step out the door this afternoon. And temperatures will make their way to the low 70s. A rogue shower possible later this evening and then into tonight. And then better chances for wet weather come our way Friday afternoon and Friday evening, setting us up for a dry weekend. And it'll start seasonable and end on the mild side. So
Man, that's Sunday forecast.
looks beautiful. I mean, both
73,
days,
sunny.
Yeah, both days, and I'm sure a lot of locations have been drying out. So I'm sure a lot of mowers and leaf blowers and people doing their landscaping this weekend.
Yeah.
So good opportunity to do that.
Yeah, do some hard work and then enjoy it as
Right.
well. All right, thank you for joining us. Join us at 5 and 6 tonight for more local news, weather, and sports. Make it a great day. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon.